Well, g'day and welcome back to the channel. A little bit different today's episode. We're going to be talking about where Tomo's tune-ups is heading for the future and importantly 2026. So as you can see, we have Kev's car behind me. Let's get into that shortly. There's a couple of things as well over there you can't actually see on camera. And Grace is not in the workshop as well. She is currently outside having a bit of a sleep. So let's hit the nail on the head and get straight into it. So first of all, welcome back to the channel. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. So let's address the elephant in the room. At the end of last year, and even start of this year, Chris's 1330 had a pretty big failure in terms of the engine, and we actually melted a piston. Unfortunately, that was likely due to incorrect timing and tuning setup. So as you know, like tuning is fuel mixture, ignition timing, idle speed, a bunch of things that go along with it. Essentially what had happened is number 4 piston, so this one on the end closest to the clutch, had actually melted. The piston ring had snapped. It had wedged between the cylinder bore and the piston. It actually gone vertical and made a groove in the cylinder wall. Piston ring then went through the valve and got absolutely munted a couple of times, and then got stuck, damaged the valve seat and went through the exhaust. Essentially, we went and got the vehicle pulled apart. We got it stripped and assessed. Essentially what they had to do was machine it, oversize it, and then put a sleeve in there and then rebore it to the same size. So that was all good. Up until last week when I received a message from Chris telling me that he wanted to take the build in a different direction and he was going to come pick up his stuff. Now, you can do with that information what you want and feel how you feel. And then he came and got his stuff, and I won't go into detail about that, but essentially you got to remember here that I not only run Tomo's Tune-Ups as a hobby and a side project, I also do this for fun and creative purposes. Now, one also important thing to remember is everyone's entitled to opinion. So just like an asshole, everyone's got one. If someone doesn't like the way that you've built their engine or the way they conduct themselves, they don't trust you, all these different things, even the way you look, your hair color, the build that you've got, the physique, everyone's entitled to their opinion. And it's important to not take that on board too much, because when you do, you generally tend to stew on it quite a lot. I'm the sort of person that stews on these sort of things quite a lot, and it takes me quite some time to move on from them, should I say. And this was quite hurtful that this had come about. However, treating it as solely and purely a business transaction was probably the best way for me to act with it. Leading with emotion obviously isn't the right way to go, and I say obviously because it's obvious to me with the training that I've had in terms of dealing with customers and conflict and all that sort of thing. When you lead with emotion, you generally not to think with your head, you think with your heart, and you think, well, this is how I'm feeling, and you generally tend to portray it, which then you lead into saying things that don't really mean how you actually feel. How many times have you had an argument with a partner or your sister or your brother or someone at work and you've said things that you didn't actually mean? That is leading with emotion rather than thinking clearly. Stop, look around and make a call. So as disappointing as this is, for many reasons, one, I've lost a customer. I've likely lost a friend through it, and I've also not known what the outcome is of it. I've also gained quite a few things out of it, and that being that what I've learnt through that build, and this was no fault of my own, I don't like to pass blame. The tuner, I believe, had a very big part of this, and I'm not going to say who that was. I have used him several times before, and he's had a very great success rate. However, this time there was something wrong, and because everything was done via cash with no invoice, it was hard to go back and try and get someone to warrant their work if it's not done through a legitimate business. So what I had actually gained out of this was less stress because it's one less customer I need to deal with, one less job, one less warranty, and importantly, I've actually gained more time now. So it gives me more time to do this sort of stuff and, jump on a Kev's car, the stuff that I got off camera as well, and, get a lot of other things done, especially Grace, which we're going to talk about shortly. So it's, it's upsetting in ways, but however, I can't force people, and no one can really anyway, force people to spend money where they want them to. Everyone's entitled to their own decisions and opinions, and that's what I left it at. And moving forward, essentially, we won't be seeing Chris's car back on the channel again. So moving right along, we got Kev's little 850 over here. If you haven't seen already, we did a previous series on this, probably close to 12 months ago now, I believe. Essentially, we just wanted to get it running a bit better. We went and sent the carburetor off to SU Medell in Lakemba in New South Wales, Australia. They rebuilt it for us, did a great job, sent us out a bunch of merch, so thanks very much, guys. Then we came back and we started doing further testing on it. As you can see, the thermostat studs have been glued in because it just keeps leaking coolant. We're trying to get this thing running and up and running for rego check. One of the things in a rego check is it does need to be able to stop, which currently this thing, well, as it stands, it probably will stop better than what it has. But you'll see that coming up on a next episode. Essentially, from day dot, Kev has always said that this thing has not had great brakes whatsoever. You might as well be Fred Flintstone or just put your feet out the door and just drag your hands on the road. It does not stop. And it's pretty concerning, actually, to think that he thought that this was okay. So, Kev, if you're watching, mate, when you don't have brakes, it is not a good thing. When you're running, a 1410cc car and you're able to power out of corners, by any means, use that accelerator. But an 850 that's worn and 30 psi compression in there, you're probably not going that fast anyway. However, brakes are very important. So take it from me, make sure your brakes and your tyres are good. You can have the best brakes in the world, but if your tyres are shit, you're not going to be able to stop anyway. So we are currently going through and getting this thing up and running. We've wired up a AFR gauge, which was another thing that I wanted to do to Chris's 1330, which obviously didn't happen. But learning how to tune a car, and I've done this through two people, one being AC Dodd and two Darren from Darren's Restorations. And with the knowledge that they've given me, I'm using that as kind of like a learning tool, and I do want to try and learn how to do this stuff. However, I don't think properly investing in learning how to tune is probably going to be my forte at this stage. With things on the horizon and, endeavours and all that sort of stuff, I don't know if that's going to take effect, but we will just wait and see. So, rigged up the AFR gauge, we're going through and going into the ignition system. As you can see, it's got a different ignition coil on it at the moment. It's got the original Lucas one, I think, on it. Actually, it's a Bosch one, sorry. Yeah, so there's a bunch of things on that we're going to be getting onto. Getting it running, I need to get it from here to work, which is approximately 4.2 kilometers. So I need to be able to drive it there, get it to work, do a rego check on it during the day, and then get it back here. It's currently out of registration, and it runs out sort of end of next month, so end of July. So that's an important thing. Otherwise, you need to get a blue slip, and then it's just more work, and it's going to potentially fail, and all of the stuff that's going to need to pass. So you'll see that coming up on another channel. We also have another engine in which we're going to be putting in this, which is going to be a really cool build, and I'm really excited to do it. Kev has been coming around and helping me with everything. Essentially, I've told him, I'm not touching this car unless you're here. So for the days that I am working on it, I'm just doing things in the background just to try and, speed things along, do the basics, that sort of thing. We do have 1, 2, 3 ignition in this, which we're going to be putting in. It's got the old 29D. And that thing is worn, very, very worn. So it's a good sort of experiment car and engine to do. And as I said, it's an old 850. This thing is worn. We need to keep going with it. So that's definitely on the channel. It does need a lot of work to be able to make what it is we're going to be doing in this vehicle to get it to run. So that's going to be an interesting endeavor. We also have off camera, you can't actually see Ben's 1330, which I'm pretty confident that thing's going to be a bit of a screamer. So it's going to be sort of a mild sort of cafe racer sort of style engine. It's going in a 70 76 or a 78 Clubman, I think. He currently has a 998 in there, which he's going to be giving me in exchange, which is going to be cool because then I'll be able to rebuild that and, you know, work on different projects in the background. So that's going to be cool. It's going to be interesting as well because we're going to be running an AFR gauge on that. We're going to be tuning it. We've got his 1 3/4 SU at the moment, which I'm going through, and we're probably going to look at rebuilding. And then we're going to go around his place and install that. So it's probably going to be sort of a 2-part episode when we go to do that. That is coming up. I don't know when that's going to happen. We're just waiting on the next sort of installment of parts to arrive, and then we keep going. My wife and I actually bought a camper trailer not too long ago, and it's the next sort of part of our lives together, taking the kids out and enjoying the Australian outback. They say, you know, explore your own country first before you go overseas, and you know, I love going overseas. I enjoy different countries. However, Australia is a very, very large place. New South Wales in itself is massive, and there is so much to see and explore. And with everything being, you know, within sort of several hours from each other from where I am in sort of Western Sydney, it's not unrealistic to be able to hook up the camper on a Saturday morning, drive, you know, sort of 3 hours west, find somewhere, camp, and then come home the next day. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be doing a lot of, and I do apologise to the guys at Minisport and to you subscribers also of not being with the consistency of the channel lately. I've had a lot going on in the background, so I was trying to get on top of all that and move forward. So if you guys want to see some footage of that with me and my family camping, I certainly enjoy it. My wife likes me filming it just so we've got memories to look back on. I think it's a very important thing to be able to look back on when you've got children. So yeah, if you want to see that, let me know. What else we got? We've got Grace. She is essentially off the road until further notice. By that I mean she's going to be on laid up cover. She's on laid up cover, which essentially means that whilst it's not in use, I'm still paying a premium, but it's nowhere near what I'm paying monthly. So that's done by Shannon's Insurance. The reason why I've decided to do that is several reasons. One, just with everything that's happened sort of recently and the last sort of couple of weeks and months leading up to this episode, I've not really had a great deal amount of time to be able to spend on it. She has formulated quite a lot of rust in it. And that, I mean, it's not overly bad. There's just the usual mini stuff. The roof gutters, the quarter panels, the front apron as well. There's bits in the boot floor I need to cut out and re-weld. Things that are just going to take me a lot of time to do. Now, I'm no fabricator, I'm no panel beater, I'm certainly no spray painter. So all that sort of stuff I'm going to be filming on my channel, and just to mix up the content a little bit more, just because I want to be able to venture into, you know, slightly different things and, you know, try my hand at it. I've done a lot of it before, and a lot of Grace I did build and shape and weld and cut and fabricate. I thought that was really fun to do. However, at this stage, she's on laid up cover because she does need a bit of attention. So the likelihood of me doing any further things in 2026 in terms of driving car meets, adventures is going to be pretty well zero. I can say maybe one this year at around Christmas, but I really don't know just at this stage, just because of the state she's in. I don't want to drive it with, you know, her being in primer and filler all over the car. It's mismatched and things are half sanded. It just not really the sort of image I want to be portraying. However, if I do get out, I'll certainly film it. So a lot of stuff this year and for the remainder of the year is going to just be in the shed. So yeah, she's going to be on laid up cover, and it'll just be nice to be able to have her off the road and not have to worry about it. I'm also in the middle of tuning her engine, so with the help of Darren from Darren's Restorations, he's been helping me do it. So she's running and driving much better than what she was, and an AFR gauge is a really good way to be able to determine that in the sense of how it's running through its rev range. So everywhere from idle all the way up to say 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, and seeing what the needle's doing, you know, what the advance curve is. Looking at all these things is what's going to help give the best possible outcome for your engine and the longevity for it as well. You may find that down low it's fine, and then as it gets to sort of, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 RPM, it might start to lean off, and then when you're well into it, giving it the berries at sort of 5,000, 6,000 RPM, it leans right out, and that's when it's going to be doing damage. So going back to the melted piston, how that piston melted was it got too hot. So one cylinder was running too hot, so it might have been that the coolant circulation wasn't going through there properly, likely because of the leaner mixture that was going into it. along with the ignition timing. I did run 2 twin SUs at the back, so if there was no heating through the manifold and it was starving of fuel on one side, whether the manifold wasn't the right one for it. An AFR gauge will tell you exactly what it is doing after the burn. So it'll tell you how much oxygen is in the exhaust that's coming out of there, and then that will give you an indication as to how the engine's burning it. Once again, spark plugs are a really good way to determine what's actually happening in the car and inside the combustion chamber. If it's really sooty, is it running too rich? Is it not the right plug gap? Is it wrong heat range plug? How's the ignition timing? All these things come into play. So an FR gauge will give you a really good understanding as to how it's been burning, and then as you make adjustments, you can see how it changes. So ensuring it has the right amount of fuel throughout the entire rev range is a really important thing. It's one thing to throw a set of plugs in it, a decent coil, banging a heap of ignition, but if it's all the wrong equipment for it, throughout that rev range it'll give the wrong reading. Grace, she wasn't running at the most optimum level, and it was through a series of things that I'd found, which I'd covered in a previous episode, did we find and attack those things, and then now it is much better. It's not turnkey just yet, it does crank a little bit, but that's just because the ignition timing curve does way too much ignition timing in it. So I had to reduce that, which then meant the flow-on effect is that it takes a little bit longer to start. So that's that. That's pretty much going to be it for the year. As I said, we've got Grace, we've got Kev's 850 or Poppy as its own. I do have some more Minisport content that I do want to upload and share with you guys, so I'm certainly going to be doing that on future episodes. Just unfortunately, I won't be attending Hay this year. I won't be attending the Ralston Classic. There's a few things that I wanted to do, but unfortunately I just can't with my commitments at the moment, and having the camper now, it gives my wife and I a lot more freedom to be able to go out and just explore Australia. So as I said, if you guys want to see that, let me know. If not, that's cool. I'll just keep it completely private. So just wanted you guys to know where we're at and what we're doing with the channel and where we intend to be going. Pretty much just working through the end of 2026. I want to try and get Grace, not into a showroom condition, but into a better condition than what she currently is. This thing you guys will hopefully see by Christmas, the transformation of this and what we're intending to do, which is really cool. And then into next year, we'll probably hit the ground running. Maybe kick it off by doing summer nats and going down there, doing some filming, camping. I don't know yet. I do want to do another drive down to my parents' farm, but that'll just depend on time frames and all that sort of stuff. But other than that, that's pretty much it. That's where the channel's at currently. Just sort of let you guys know where we're at and where we're traveling with the future for Tomo's Tune-Ups. Into next year, obviously I want to intend to do Hay Mini Nationals either with my family or by myself or with Kev in his Mini. I think that'd be really fun. Definitely want to do Ralston as well, and maybe do something else later in the year. Just depends really what's on offer and what sort of annual leave and that sort of thing I've got. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have anything you guys want to see me do or see me work on, talk about, discuss, rebuild, there's heaps of stuff on Grace I need to do, so I'll be covering a lot of that. Most videos I've already done stuff on them before. I don't like to rehash it unless it's a more efficient video on how to do it. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We've got plenty to go on. I'm actually going to kick on to this next, so you'll catch it on the next episode of Tomo's Tune-Ups. Enjoy the rest of your evening and see you then.